And if you are looking for something a little more low-key, but just as fun, there is a new movie out there that everybody's talking about. It's 1917, and Ross is actually up in the Bay with a man who made the movie magic, director Sam Mendes. Check it out.
Defenses, artillery, the like of which we've never seen before. The second are due to attack the line shortly after dawn tomorrow. They have no idea what they're in for.
All right, gentlemen, I saw the film. For some of our viewers on California Live who maybe haven't seen the trailer yet, without spoiling it, give us an idea of the story and, you know, what attracted you to these roles and being a part of this project?
The story, so it's a film called 1917. It takes place during the First World War, and it follows two men, Blake and Schofield, and they get sent on a mission to deliver a message to try and stop an attack on 1,600 men's lives. And my character, Blake's brother, is one of the 1,600 men. And we also filmed it in one continuous take.
You're going to have to jump! Just jump! I can't see! You need to trust me! Jump!
I mean, the whole sort of film's really physically and emotionally draining in a way. It's very tough, and you know, the scenes we were filming were, you know, sometimes 9 minutes long. And we're not just doing one take, we're doing 20, 30, 40 takes, and we also rehearse for 6 months. So turning up with that level of determination every single day, you know, trying to get to your brother, you know, turning up with the energy, it was very tough. But I loved it, and I loved Blake. I just love how warm he is, and you know, even though he's in the middle of a war zone, he's still very optimistic.
We rehearsed for 6 months, basically, because we've got to craft the rhythm and the pace of the film, like emotionally, and because it's all in one shot, and because we're literally always on the move, so we had to be there 6 months before with every member of the crew, basically working that out. So we would go to an empty field where the trenches would be built, and we had Roger, our director of photography, filming us, and we'd be there with our scripts and with Sam and the production designer, and we'd be pacing through these scenes, working out, right, this is when the corner needs to come, and this is when the shell hole needs to be there. And so it was this amazing organic process of basically, building the choreography layer by layer and making changes so that it always felt right, because we were kind of editing as we went, in the same way we were refining it before we even got to filming it, because we couldn't touch it once we've put it down on film. So yeah, it was this amazing collaborative experience.
I want to start with the inspiration for the film. You've mentioned that your grandfather was an inspiration, some of the stories he told you. I wonder if there was one story or one particular event that he shared that sort of became the catalyst for this particular story.
Yeah, there was. He told us a story. You know, he was only 17 years old when he fought in the war, and he didn't speak of his experiences until he was in his 70s. And he told us, his grandchildren, and he spoke of one particular story. He was carrying a message across no man's land, this sort of vast, misty emptiness, surrounded by death. And they used to send him because he was very small, and he could. The mist in no man's land hung at 6 feet, and because he was only 5.5 feet tall, he could run and not be seen over the top of the mist. And that image of him running in no man's land, that was carrying a message. That was the germ for this movie. And then that developed and enlarged from there, and changed kind of out of all recognition, really. It became so my grandfather is not in the movie, it's not about my grandfather, but it's because of him that I wrote it and made it.
Fantastic. And your decision to film it in such a unique way.
Well, once we decided to tell a story 2 hours in real time, it seemed necessary, almost natural, that we would experience time as the men experienced time, that we would understand very quickly that we weren't going to jump the distance that they were going to travel. We weren't going to jump time. We were going to have to go on the journey with them every step of the way. And that then became the challenge, to make an audience forget about the camera and to simply travel with the men and understand distance, understand physical difficulty, understand time as they do. So I guess it was an emotional choice that was designed to connect the audience with the characters as much as possible. Lock them in, if you like, and so you know you just can't escape.